Hi, this is Gordon from Lineup Ninja, and in this video we're going to take a look at how Lineup Ninja can help you with scheduling your event. Specifically, we're going to take a look at a few core components, such as how you can use tracks to group sessions in locations, say to keep a location on a particular theme, how you can use resources to ensure that your sessions take place in locations that have those resources that they'll need, how you can use labels to help plan a hybrid event, and how to ensure there's sufficient changeover time between each session to make sure your attendees have got time to get from one place to the next. And we'll also take a look at how Lineup Ninja can make all of this happen automatically for you. Before I dive into the detail on how to do this, let's take a look at an event that's already been planned, and this is the event that we're going to schedule today. It's a 2-day event, but it's also a hybrid event. On the first day, we're scheduling sessions to be online only, and we've got 2 online rooms. These could be like Zoom rooms or Jitsi rooms, etc. We've got 1 room for our democracy and media track, and 1 for our technology and transport track. And then on the second day, we've got a hybrid event, where we've got the main hall and breakout room showing sessions that the attendees will attend, but we're also continuing to run the online program for our more remote attendees. So let's dive in and see how we can configure Lineup Ninja to make it super easy to build this kind of agenda. So here's our empty event. We have the rooms as I discussed and all the sessions we need to schedule down the side here. Let's start by taking a look at tracks. We've got 5 tracks in this event: democracy, media, technology, transport and human design. Now, we're going to decide which tracks take place in which locations. This is to say that a particular location has a theme. This can be useful so that attendees can stay in the same kind of area if they're interested in the same topic, rather than moving from one side of your venue to the other. Or if you're delivering an online event, it helps keep consistency in, say, one Zoom room, so people aren't constantly having to change between rooms. For the democracy track, we're going to have this track in the main hall and in the online democracy and media topic. Then for media, we're going to have this in also in the main hall and democracy and media again. And for technology, we're going to have that in the breakout room and for technology and transport. And again, for transport, again, the same breakout room and the online technology and transport. For human design, we're not concerned which location those sessions take place in. We can allow them to be scheduled anywhere. To allow that, clicking to human design, and there's an option here to say whether the track should be bound to specific locations or not, and we can just turn that off. That will allow these sessions to be scheduled anywhere. So that's the initial tracks configuration done. Let's take a look at how that affects the planner board. If we go to agenda planning, let's try scheduling democracy rethought. We can pick that up and we can see that some areas are greyed out. Those are locations that don't have the democracy track that we just configured. So we can place it somewhere like so. So that's simply what tracks can do for you. Say for example, let's look at the human design one that we said can be scheduled in any location. So as you can see, we can place it where we like. Now, one other thing that you might like to do with tracks is restrict the number of sessions running in the same track at the same time. For example, you don't want to get into a situation where an attendee who's primarily interested in a single track can't attend all the sessions in that track. To do that, you can go into the tracks, and for this human design one, because we said it can run anywhere, we might want to say it can run anywhere, but we only want 1 at a time. And you can configure that in this concurrency section and say 1. Now that will ensure that we can only schedule 1 human design track at any time. Let's go back to the planner board, find another one to schedule, and there we can see we can place it anywhere, but not at the same time as a human design track that's already running. Let's place it there for now. Okay, and that's a quick introduction to tracks. Now let's take a look at resources. Resources are things that you will provide at primarily physical locations, but also potentially at virtual locations. For this event, we've got 4 resources: Wi-Fi, a PA system, a flip chart, and a projector. Now, let's say the PA system is expensive, that's only available in the main hall. Now, flip chart, they're easy to come by. Let's say they're available in the breakout room and the main hall, both of our physical stages. And the projector, again, breakout room and main hall. Now for Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi is available at all locations, so we don't need to restrict the scheduling for sessions to a particular location if they need Wi-Fi. So for Wi-Fi, we can choose Wi-Fi and we can turn that off. Now let's see what impact that's had on the planner board. Go back to agenda planning and let's try and plan human design explored. We move that and we can see quite a few sections are now greyed out. We can't place it here in the online thing because it doesn't have a projector, what with it being online. Similarly, we can't place it into the breakout room because it needs a PA system. So let's say we can place it in the main hall. So that's a very quick overview of how to use resources. Now you'll notice we've been able to plan a session in the main hall on the first day. But if you remember when I started, I mentioned that there aren't going to be any physical sessions on the first day. So now we'll take a look at labels and you'll see how you can use these to model those kind of aspects of your event. So let's dive in to labels. Labels are generic things. You can use them for anything you like. You can label speakers or sessions or locations, anything to help you organise your event. For now, we're going to create a virtual label, and we're saying the virtual label is going to be the two online locations we're going to associate with that. We're going to tick that, and then physical. And as you might have guessed, we're going to choose the two physical locations. Now, just by applying a label to a location, all that does is give that location that label. So you can go into, say, your list of locations, and you can now filter by those labels. It doesn't apply anything more than that. But what you can do is also apply scheduling to these labels. So let's take a look at the virtual label first. As you can see, it's linked to the two locations we chose. And there's a toggle here to say that I want sessions that have the virtual label to be scheduled in one of these locations. So I can just select this here. Now, any sessions that are virtual need to take place in a virtual location. Now, similarly, let's go into physical. And we say the same for the physical. We want those to be the main hall and the breakout room. But we also want our physical events to only take place on the second day. And we can associate a label with a date. And let's choose the second day here. And similarly, we can say schedule sessions with these labels on these dates. Selected. So now that means that any session with the label physical has to take place in the breakout room in the main hall, but also on the second day. So now we've created our virtual and physical labels, we need to associate those labels with the sessions so that we know which ones we want to take place in a physical location and which ones in a virtual. Let's go to agenda planning and our list of sessions. Now in this example, I'm just going to say that any session that needs a physical resource is going to take place in a physical location, and vice versa. Ones without can take place virtually. So let's filter our sessions here. Let's start by just filtering for all the sessions that don't need any resources. I can bulk select them here, go down here and add a label. And I want to say I want to add the virtual label to these. There we go. Now I want to do the inverse of that filter, which is to say all sessions with any labels, with any resources. So as you may have seen me do there, you can set your filter to like no resources, press invert, and that will select all of them. Now again, tick those and add a label. And these ones are physical. Add. Now you'll notice here, as soon as I've added the physical label, that I've got some red text here saying the scheduled date does not have label physical. Let's see what's going on the planner board. Interesting. This one earlier that was green is now red. If we hover over here, we can see the same message. The scheduled date doesn't have the physical label. This is the first day. It needs to take place in the second day. So let's move it down here. That's now okay. Now similarly this one, the breakout room doesn't have a virtual label. It needs to take place in a virtual location. So we can select that, we can drag it around, and we can place it here. Again, as you can see, we configured earlier that we only wanted one human design track to run at any one time, so we can't place it there. We can place it there. Okay, that's a quick overview of those. Let's just schedule all the rest of our sessions. We can just here press auto schedule, press confirm. What will happen now is Lineup Ninja will run an algorithm that will attempt to automatically schedule all of your remaining sessions. It'll just take a few seconds to run some whizzy magic in the cloud. That will plan all your remaining sessions and come back, and there we go, the event's planned. But it only takes a moment's glance to realise that we have no changeover time between any of these sessions. Particularly in a physical location, are we really expecting our attendees to run from the main hall to the breakout room in like a matter of seconds? No, obviously not. Lineup Ninja can help with this with a concept called changeover time. You can configure a changeover time for the event as a whole for your sessions. So to say every session needs, let's say, 30 minutes changeover time. If you need to, you can also configure a changeover time for a location. Say it's got a large stage and it needs a longer changeover time. Or if you've got a particular session that you know is going to need a long time to manage a changeover after it's been run, you can configure that on the individual session. We can go into the event settings here, and one of the options here is default session changeover time. Just while I'm here, you'll notice this icon here. It means documentation, and if you click it, it will take you to the documentation for this particular feature. Let's set our session changeover time to 30 minutes. Okay, let's go back to the planner board. Okay, well that looks like a huge mess now. Basically all of our sessions have a problem because they all conflict with another session. For example, if we move this one out of the way, put that there, you'll see this session now has a 30-minute changeover period after it takes place. Okay, well what we can do here is just remove all of these sessions from the board and auto schedule them again. So Lineup Ninja will again plan your event based on the tracks, labels and resources that we've configured, and there we go. The event is now planned with a changeover time between each event. One other thing to mention is you might want to prevent certain VIP talks from happening at the same time. Let's say in our example here, Human Design Explored and Technology Up and Coming. They're both really important to us. So we could create a label that will allow us to give some simple extra scheduling. Let's say it's going to be VIP, and the sessions that we want to include in this were Human Design Explored and Technology Up and Coming. Tick that. Now, if we navigate into the label, you can see here we have a similar concurrency setting that we saw on tracks. So again, we can say here we only want one session with the VIP label to run at any one time. So if we choose that, we select that, go back to the agenda, and we'll see that now we have a red mark because these are scheduled at the same time. So we can easily just pick that up, find another spot where it can run, and place it there. I won't go into detail now, but it is possible to also configure very specific scheduling rules on an individual session. For example, on Media Explored, if you navigate into here, you can define here quite complex scheduling rules between individual sessions to say Media Explored needs to take place after Democracy Outside Perspective. You can use this to create very specific rules that are appropriate for your event. That's it for the overview of the scheduling in Lineup Ninja. I hope you found it useful. If you'd like to learn more about Lineup Ninja, go to www.lineup.ninja. Or if you're familiar with us already, go straight to our documentation at docs.lineup.ninja. Or if you want to talk to us, please email us at hello@lineup.ninja. Thanks for listening. See you again soon.